right. So I actually do think that dogs are firmly underrepresented in heavy metal music.
I agree. You hear like that. There's that one cat band that it has like the cat vocalist. And they just distort the shit out of their cats yowling and
Yeah.
like have metal over it. Like, I
Oh
guess
yeah.
you're right. I mean, you have like theming and stuff. You
You
have
have
like
theming, but
hellhound and
it's
shit.
it's performative dog stuff. I mean, like look, I as much Ozzy's fine. I think Ozzy's great and everything like that, but Bark at the Moon, like that's him like cosplaying a dog on the cover. It's
Mm.
not an actual animal or actual dog. So like
At
I feel
what
like if we
point are
don't
you calling Ozzy a furry at this point?
no,
Like
I
where
well no, I wouldn't go that far. But I do believe he is you know performatively barking at the
a
moon. Performative
performative
bark at the
dog.
moon. A performative dog, yes, as
Yeah.
opposed to a legitimate dog. So where
Dogs in metal. Dogs
dogs in
in
metal,
metal.
yes. Well, there is, yeah, and I've seen that. There is that calendar, a real calendar out there called Cats on Amps. So we see cats represented
That
heavily
is
in the metal community,
true.
but we don't see
Hmm.
the canine friends. So I think
Yeah.
this is something we need to work on as a society, broadly speaking.
Yeah,
But
we need more dogs because somebody did a cat with musicians book out of
yes,
San Francisco, all metal musicians, and my old guitar player's in there with his cat.
exactly,
Oh,
exactly.
sick.
We
And
need
that
more
brings
dogs.
us to us not being alone in this topic today,
Oh, yeah.
and the committee we've formed regarding dogs in metal music. Today on the pod of More Than Metal, we have Soothsayer. They are a
Hello.
band
Oh, what's up?
that plays
Hi.
the heavy metal,
The heavy metal, the only one that
The heavy
exists.
metal.
We only
Not
have
just-
metal.
right? They don't just have they don't play a heavy metal, like they play one song. They play the heavy metal. So we'll be talking to them today.
Some real
about,
Mercury shit.
I have no idea what that means, but it sounds poisonous.
Mercury's a heavy metal.
Oh, it is.
It's a
True.
it's a physics joke.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not educated, so.
Hey, me neither. That's why
But,
we do this podcast
That's why we do this
together.
podcast. Yeah, that's really what America's about now, is uneducated
Mhm.
men doing podcasts. But no, we'll be talking to them about their band, a lot of kind of the wrangling of it, the idea of what goes into a birthday show, and hearing their various takes on music and just playing the heavy metal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and run our opening, and we will be right back. Bailey,
What?
what are you listening to?
Oh my! I didn't think we'd get this far. So I feel like I've talked about it at least 4 other times on the podcast,
Yes.
but I have been on like a generational kick, just listening to a bunch of Unto Others,
Uh-huh.
and I feel like I have to kind of branch out.
Yeah.
But I
get in
have-
those loops.
Yeah.
And two others from Portland.
Yes.
Yes, Unto Others from
Yeah.
Portland.
I played with them in like 2014 when they were called Idle Hands.
Idle Hands.
Yeah.
Idle Hands.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, they're really good. I saw them up in Sonora, up in like the mountains at like a tiny room.
They're
years back.
fucking big.
Yeah, they've
Oh,
really
man.
blown up, and that's
They're
a band that I think-
blowing up.
yeah, I think that's a band that really has it's well earned. I'll say, like to say the least. But
Oh my
really
God, I have such a crush on Gabe Franco. His vocals are like,
Yeah, is it the after the
it's,
like you gotta-
it's just there's just something
the
about
T-Rex
yes.
grabs you like a T-Rex. Yeah, I know.
There's just something
he's got
about
a
men
thing.
howling. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
well,
Yeah,
Liz,
it's called a grab ya.
yeah.
Liz, what about you? What have you been listening to?
Oh, what? Well, jeez.
Soothsayer.
I mean, I've been listening to our playbacks, but I
That's
always
okay.
listen.
You can say that. That's
I,
fine.
I listen to Power Trip every single day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like it's going out of style.
Good call. Good call. What about Tula?
Man, I was just gonna say, whenever I put on music that's like suggested for you because you like Power Trip, I listen to it and I'm like, why don't I just listen to some Power Trip because it's so much. I just revisited Agents of Fortune by Blue Oyster Cult because
Oh,
that
nice.
was
Oh, so good.
our album for
Patti
me.
Smith.
Patti Smith.
She's involved. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fires of Unknown Origin.
Oh my
That
God.
album.
It's
That
so
album
good.
is my
Thousand
favorite.
Psychic Wars. We are all veterans of a.
Oh yeah, that's a fucking. All their songs are so good.
All right. Shayna.
So
Oh,
good.
I mean, I've graduated from Power Trip to Fugitive, so now
Yeah.
and then Cobweb when not doing that, and then the band that everyone seems to be listening to from Quebec, the Angeline
Back. Oh, we all love them.
Day
Angeline de
They're
Poit.
taking so
Yeah.
long.
the band. Yeah.
The polka dot. He has a multi-tonal guitar,
It's
and he's
like,
looping.
yeah.
And
Huh.
It's so it's like if Voivod was playing alt rock.
Okay. Matt, what about you? What have you been listening to?
I have been listening to a lot of the new Neurosis.
Okay. Yeah, that popped out
Ooh.
of a lot of people. I've been seeing that pop up on a lot of people's feeds and lists and such. Yeah.
Yeah, that's been really nice checking that new album out. I've been listening to the new Witchcraft, which is pretty cool.
Oh my God.
I
Yeah.
have vinyl. It's so
And
play.
and
So
something
good.
that's been on heavy rotation for a while is Neil Merriweather's Kryptonite.
Yes.
Okay. Not familiar.
Ooh, I am not either.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sounds,
you got
sounds
to.
intriguing though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Some
We're both
obscure
behind on
gems.
the times.
So yeah, that's I mean a bunch of other stuff in and out. Like Liz said, all of our feedback or all of our playbacks from practicing the last few weeks and just learning new material and stuff. So that's actually been most of my stuff.
Ah, that's so cool.
Mhm.
Very cool. I got in the mail this last week I want to say it's not their debut, but the second album by the band Tailgunner. There's a lot of bands named Tailgunner, I'll say, but they're a heavy metal
Oh,
band.
you were talking about this.
Yeah, it's kind of a speed metal thing. They have this album called Midnight Blitz that came out on Napalm, which is, for those who don't know,
Careful.
well, I have a contentious opinion of Napalm and Nuclear Blast, we'll say. But this was actually one of the better releases I've seen on that label for a while.
What's the album? Midnight Blitz.
It's called Tailgunner, and the name of the album is Midnight Blitz. It's got like a cybernetic like Grim Reaper on the cover with like a
I love it. I love that
You
cover.
can't go wrong with a cybernetic Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
No, you gotta bring it up for the kids love that stuff. But really,
Chronos.
it's good kind of like a heavy metal, speed metal kind of thing. Old
You're just
school.
being a fuck.
It almost
really
looks
enjoyed
like the Grim Reaper is a Cylon.
Yeah, and he's got a little plane between his hands, doing God knows what with it. I don't know. It's a weird cover, but I dug the album a lot actually, and this was I really enjoyed this one actually, and I listened to it a few times when I got it in the mail this last week. So like spun that a few times and the like, but so yeah, no, it's actually been I've had a lot of records come in. I feel like everyone's stuff's kind of coming in right now and releasing. It feels like the season. But speaking of seasons, it's the season for some performances.
Yeah, it is.
And I know that Soothsayer is performing. You guys have been playing a few shows here and there. How's that been?
So fun. We're having the best time.
We have
Wait,
a lot
Truly.
of shows coming up, so you know.
When did you guys play your first show together as Soothsayer?
Reno.
September.
September.
Last
Okay, wow. You
Year.
guys are
Uh-huh.
babies.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And
We're fresh.
Liz and I really wanted to play together, and we put together this band in like mid 2019. We also had a shout out to Pamela, who is an AC/DC,
Oh, okay.
Gosh.
as a second guitar player, and
That's so cool.
it was going full throttle ahead. And then our first show was like March 29th, 2020. So, but so
okay.
we kind of got, I ran into Liz, we all had issues like, during the whole pandemic where we had to
Sure.
like, be with family and friends and whatever.
Yeah.
Pamela
Gosh.
moved, unfortunately, and we love her and she was rad. And then Liz and I think, ran into each other like once in like maybe the 3 years, and we got really drunk and we were like, "I love you, let's play music together." And then
I
when we
love
saw
that.
each other again, I was like, "Will you play bass in this band?" I just found Matt Butler playing drums, and she instantly was like, "Yes." And we have like, Liz is in Castle, which is this phenomenal band,
Absolutely.
Love
and
Castle.
they're amazing. And I'm in Thea, and so it was we're like, let's do this super group, and I couldn't imagine anyone else playing bass. So I never, we never went forward with it because it was like a thing that needed to happen with us doing it. And then we got Shayna, obviously, here,
Mhm.
keyboards, so and guitar now as well.
Oh wow,
Yep.
very
Yeah,
cool.
playing my
And the
friend.
rest was history. My God.
So
hmm
I am familiar with Liz and Tula's other projects, but like I don't Matt and Shayna, what else have you guys worked on? Like what else where'd you guys kind of come from to get into this project?
I was in a band called Bastet that was death rock,
Ooh.
Oh
goth
wow.
music, and we were going incredibly strong right before COVID, and then band just fell apart. And then I had
Oh.
a solo project that became a multitude community project with like 6 drummers and all this shit.
Oh.
Wow.
It was Stranger Than Fact was kind of like a running journal, that musical journal for myself. I haven't been doing that for a while. And then I was also in kind of, we called it like dad punk. Like, I don't know.
Oh my God. I love that.
That's a real
I
It was
thing.
love
called,
that.
That's a
yeah,
real
it was
thing.
called Turbo Drive, and that was with Daniel from Vale and a couple other people, and had a lot of fun with those bands. But ultimately, kind of was off grid for during most of COVID, so I went into like my country solo phase
Mhm.
and just playing in the street, and just kind of was
Oh
looking for
wow.
a project.
Oh.
I was a musical orphan when I ran into Tula and our paths crossed again, and I was like, I need a band. I'm fucking losing it. I'm solo country. I need some help,
And
So
thus Soothsayer.
Okay. Matt, what about you?
Um, the band I did before this, well, there was the band I was really into, really wanted to do something, was called Ansia. We
Hmm.
recorded an album, played a
Good. I have a copy.
we played a party at the AT House, and we did a Scott Holocaust memorial show after things started opening up for COVID, and then
Wow.
the band imploded, and
Mm.
it was like it's death metal mixed with D beat, like hardcore.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Huh.
Interesting.
That
one of
sounds
the
kind of cool.
yeah, it was one of the coolest bands I'd ever, me and my friend came up with and did. So that was with this guy Arturo, who's in Vermidax. Prior to this, I was playing drums for a couple of years in High Tone Son of a Bitch, and then years before that, I did a band. It was called Skin Horse, and then another one called
Gotcha.
Nero Order, and those were more doom, atmospheric,
Mm.
weird. I don't know, just
Doing the thing.
long masturbatory, like self-indulgent songs of just
Okay.
of doom and destruction. Good stuff. It was fun, but yeah, it's just the more rock and roll is definitely, for me, more approachable and fun to play. So
As you can see, Matt is doing this on his bed where, people don't realize, but
that's where the magic happens.
yeah, most of Soothsayer's income comes from Matt's OnlyFans. So that bed is.
Mm.
yes. Usually I have somebody here feeding me grapes, but they're not here.
Hmm.
You're great, bit.
Oh my God.
Wow. Wow.
Welcome to our
You heard it here
Here.
first on More Than Metal, folks.
Yeah.
Metal is-
Oh my God.
Keep up with these three. They're ruthless, dude.
We were in the pre-talk. We were, yeah. There was a pacing. There was a pacing. We'll say.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we'll say.
You guys left me in the dust. What the hell?
Yeah. So
Keep up.
are you so you bring this band together? So Tula and Liz, you guys are like, we're gonna form this thing. We want to play together. We love I love you, man. However it played out. I don't know what the whole situation was exactly.
Yeah.
I did it right. I said, I love you, man. Like that's how it went down. Okay, for the historical
I
record.
think both Liz and I like really wanted to be really aggressive and express the archetype kind of the warrior woman. We both
Yeah.
we were like, this is a thrash band. We were like, we're gonna start a thrash band. And we do have elements to that, but also, Liz and I were both kind of raised by like slightly stern, tyrannical blues guitar player dad. So,
Oh man.
we want to, I think, to kind of
Slightly stern.
slightly, and it's the thing with the Jungian archetypes. People like the warrior women, they like the sensitive,
Hmm.
and it's we want, I think, to kind of really bring that forth and like, you know, play really aggressively, which I feel like we do.
That's really cool.
That's okay. That's great. So
I
then,
have a
oh,
I
please.
have a question about like kind of the theme. So you guys are called Soothsayer. So like what what is the like what inspired like the kind of theming of a sort of like a soothsayer, right? Like the kind of a diviner and kind of a seer, like
Truth teller.
yeah.
Yeah, the truth teller. I think a lot of all four of us are pretty straight shooters. Like we like to tell it how it is and be real with each
Mhm.
other, but also really inspired by Tula's reading of the celestial. But she has like vision and sees things, and Shayna is also very intuitive who
Mm.
sees things, and I like to be a little witchy myself and have a little precognition and just kind of put that together and that visionary expressive-ness. But
I have
Okay.
also,
a
we really
saying.
like the PSA, public service announcements.
Yes. I have like a rad saying on my website from this neon artist Bruce Neumann from the 60s, and this
Mm.
saying,
Whoa.
it says, the true artist reveals mystical truths.
Mhm.
Oh, that's sick.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
My credo to live by for sure.
Oh my God. I love that. That's such a cool like kind of reasoning for telling it how it is and kind of playing aggressive music. That's sick.
Mm.
I love that.
There's a subplot to this too, in which we are kind of embedded in our own horror flick, where it involves this girl Judy. I'm
Oh
gonna have
no.
Tula tell more about Judy, but
Oh, please tell me about Judy.
it's kind of like an ongoing skit within our shows that keeps developing, and the story of Judy continues.
Yeah, we tell a story in between songs, and there's going to be a pamphlet. I don't know if you guys know the chick pamphlets, those religious
Yeah,
tracts.
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
check.
the
Yeah,
woman's like,
publication.
there'd be like a girl at a party and she smokes pot, and then in 10 pages in, she's in jail and has AIDS and is pregnant with twins. So I have a bunch of those thick pamphlets, and Liz and I have developed, we tell a story throughout our set where, it's Judy and her mom is like, really, scared for her, and she hangs out with Chad. He's the guy that has the good acid. And then she, is in the basement and calls her mom. And, it's this whole story that we've kind of built around, and it's kind of taken like on its own life, like the
Mhm.
story that
That's so funny.
Like the songs keep dictating where the story goes.
That's
Yeah.
fascinating.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean that's definitely like a motif we've seen. We Billy and I've talked about this a bit on the pod before
Oh
about
yeah.
like, bands that have mythology and create like a story. I mean, some
I'm such a sucker for that.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
Yeah, and some we'll say that some spin it out of control to such a degree that it's unsustainable. But the idea of like
I know
having,
who
like,
you're talking about.
I'm talking about several bands, but
Oh, I know at least one of them.
you know at least one of them. But
Mhm.
there's a
Don't say it, please.
tell us.
But like, yeah, like done right, it's like war.
I think
know?
done right.
Done
yeah,
Done
right.
right, it's fun.
It's got to be done from the right place. Yes,
Yes.
from the heart.
Yeah.
I think
Genuine.
having being genuine, having even as a
Yeah.
consistent vision, is really interesting. But I like the idea of using the chick publication stuff because that's something actually I talk
That
about
is-
in my classes. And
That's really fun.
I don't want to tell you how to do your jobs, but like one of the things I've seen with the chick publication type stuff that's really fun to do is you do a version of it where you blank out all the words from it.
Oh,
and then
we have plans.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, something like that would be a blast. Yeah, where if you do their own version of it, but
And it's also, it's doing the same thing. We're exploring again, kind of these archetypes, like
Yeah.
the teenage girl that's, and the overprotective mom and like the expectations, for women because, we don't, we're, I think at the point, which is kind of rad about being older and playing music for so long that we're not really intimidated anymore, and when people try to kind of get around to us, we can like show our chops.
Yeah.
That those archetypes are still out there, and Shayna and I, Shayna is a really amazing sound engineer, and she's mixed like huge venues. She works at Great American, she works at
oh
Regency,
wow,
and other stuff, and like it's the amount of the percentage of women who actually do that is so small, and like there is
5%.
yeah 5%, right?
Total, yeah.
So it's you get pushback all the time. Like we went to go see, what show did we see, you guys, together on our band field trip, and this guy was like, "What is it like to be women in like a
Oh, High
metal
on
band?"
Fire.
Oh, was it High on Fire?
Yeah,
Was it High on Fire or was it the sword?
no,
Both.
we like battled our way to the front.
What's it like to be women who can play music?
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't know because I got a big what?
Because
I
it's
was
not
like,
like
what kind of question is that?
That's such a crazy question.
I don't know is the answer.
I mean, we didn't
Yeah.
put this band together also because we were like, oh, I need a woman to do this. We were just like, oh man, you can play what I want and I can play what you want. And like, it was just a natural.
Yeah.
It
We
was
like the same music.
No, I mean,
We want to write together and like create something together. And we're all like interested in playing as much as we like the fact that we're all like in it because we've all played bands where it's like you never get together. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But this band feels like everybody wants the same thing, you know?
this
Oh, that's
band is like,
awesome.
I just worked 36 hours straight and came from my other band practice, but here I am and it's 4 a.m.
We
Like,
got to be up at 6 in the morning. Like we
right?
play till like midnight, and like we've got to get up at 6 in the morning. Some of us,
Yeah.
and it's like putting in 3 to 4 practices a week sometimes, but then not being able to see each other for 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a show. We need to fucking get this shit together and like buckle down. But then when we have the time, we create and put the time in on the side.
And
Yeah.
Liz and I have the natural, the not Elon Musk sponsored Neuralink where we can just plug in and like write together, So it's a very easy process. So we have the real thing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I believe the kids call that vibing.
Oh, the kids.
Hanging out?
Just
Oh my
hanging out.
God.
Yeah, hanging out. Yeah, it's shocking how that works.
That's
Yeah,
weird. I don't know what the
Hanging
fuck
out.
that is. I can't hang to
I-
save my life.
it's a strange thing how people try to like really reinvent hanging out.
Commodify hanging out.
Commodify hanging
It's
out.
so
They're
weird.
like,
Well,
they're just like this. They're just like,
Yeah.
when you
Oh.
when you stop saying, "Hey, do you guys want to play?" and you're like, "Do you want to hang out?" But now we want to play again. So
Yes.
I want to bring that
Yeah.
back. Let's
You-
play.
exactly.
I
So-
call my friends. I'm like, let's have a goddamn play date. I don't give a shit,
no.
dude. That's what I'm gonna call it.
100%.
Yeah, I want to make believe. I want to play in the dirt.
Exactly.
I have these neighbors who are, well, my neighbor is like a 90-year-old jazz musician. He was actually the bass player for John Coltrane in the
Oh, wow.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
And they have these jazz jams over. I mean, I'm talking, it's the piano player from Art Blakely and the Jazz Messengers. It's Dizzy Gillespie's flute player. It's
Oh,
John
wow.
Handy, who is one of the most, Miles Davis's saxophone player, but like famous. And these guys are all in their 80s and 90s, and they play all the time. In fact, we go over there and hang out like every couple months because they have these like jazz jams. It's
Mhm.
amazing.
Holy shit.
And
Wow.
when you go over there was like this one guy was like, "Oh yeah, I used to play music, but then I had a kid," and they were like, "No excuses." They're like, "If you don't play till you're dead, you're not a musician." It's really inspiring, and their whole kind of thing. They're like, "This is like a fucking gift. So if you waste it, that's
Yeah.
on you. Like, you got to keep on playing."
Fuck them kids. Play that music.
No, there's
Right?
there's something to be said about youth, wasting, kind of wasting time and everything like that too. And I even personally, like my own personal talents, I think about like I don't say I wasted my time, but like I definitely appreciate it more as I've gotten older. And so that's largely been the lesson this podcast I've been trying to teach Bailey.
Oh, fuck you, John.
You
Oh
love
my
it.
God.
You love
The
it.
disrespect. I come on here to have a great time and hang out with our friends from Soothsayer, and you come and just shoot me in the
Yep.
back of the head
Yep.
on this,
Yeah, once in a
like
while.
live on
Once
this
in a while.
podcast.
Yep, once in a while, just gotta make sure we know.
Gotta keep me on my toes,
Keep
I
your toes.
guess. Jesus,
But-
I'm gonna start crying. It's gonna be your fault.
So, what please don't. One of the things that I wanted to ask though was about. So all of you are
It's
like,
a mom and dad fight.
yes, mom and dad are gonna fight once in a while. I did want to ask though too, like, so since I know Liz and Tula, you're in other bands. how does it trying to manage like being in two projects at the same time? And are Shayna and
It's
Matt, are you guys in other projects currently, or is it sorry?
No, I can't. I'm like
You
full
guys are
time.
dedicated to the cause? Okay.
I don't have time.
it's
I wish I could be in another band, but right now I don't have the time.
OnlyFans account ain't gonna run itself.
Man, taking a lot out of
it's a
you.
lot.
Oh,
It's a lot. I have to split the workload completely. Like literally take a couple weeks off of Soothsayer to do castle stuff, and then hopefully I don't forget one thing and then do the other, and just back and forth. But I don't think it would be I have any other way than to fill my life with music and friends and
Hmm.
doing cool shit.
Yeah, we
It's
definitely
it's
have like fulfilling, I think, lives because you're just making music, but because like being in a band, it's like you're in like this really intimate relationship that's not
Hmm.
physical, and it kind of like it if when you're in a great band, let alone two great bands, it's just like this beautiful thing that happens. And it's tough though. It's like a chaos machine for sure, but
Hmm.
it's worth it, I think.
Yeah, like I tried two bands for a few months last year and it fell apart because it's
Hmm.
like, when I got to practice, I'd be so tired and then I wouldn't be present. And I knew I wasn't bringing my full self to practice. And the
Hmm.
band was really cool, but it was like, I knew that it wasn't going to be sustainable for me. And I barely have free time at this time. So I want to be able to give more to Soothsayer and give more to like having some kind of balance and inspire myself to have things that want me to show up for practice rather than feeling drained at practice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Shanna, you work like you full-time sound industry. Like
Oh
that
my
sound
gosh.
exhaustion is real. So, I personally I piecemeal together work, so I just do what I can to keep the dream alive, you know,
When
That's really
you
balance in all
awesome.
things.
I think it was also a little easier for Liz and I too because we had bands that were established. Like Thea's pointing out, like, their debut records next week. And, Liz has been in Castle, which has been around for like, quite a while. So when you birth a band, like it's like a baby and you got to devote more time to it and write all the
mhm.
songs. So I think it was like we were also able to do that because their other bands were established. So we kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
do the set,
And these guys are crazy. Our first show was Reno, 25 minutes. We had 6 months to plan. I was like, this is going great. Next show after that was in Dunsmuir, 90-minute set a week and a half later.
Holy shit, 90-minute set?
Oh
And I
my
was like,
My
That's
God.
an
what are we gonna do?
escalation.
yeah.
These guys just sit down and they write like 25, 30 minutes of material in a week. We learn it all and we go and kill it in Dunsmuir. Like,
So when
My mom booked us a gig because my parents are also musicians, and they were like, "Yeah, you guys will play a 90-minute set." I'm like, "Who plays a 90-minute set at a festival?" And it was in my hometown.
Festival.
And I feel like they kind of tricked us because my parents played before us and they just went on later. They can play for like 3 hours, but they're like, we're not playing 90 minutes either. But we played 90 minutes. We actually made a 90-minute set.
25-minute
Oh,
set and we
fucking
turned it
props
into
to you
90
guys. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's
just
no
jammed,
joke.
and then people are like, are those women doing free form improvisational
They didn't even
jamming?
We
know.
were,
They were
no, I mean, my hometown, I literally had old hippies coming up to me and they were in tears. They're like, that was amazing. I didn't tell you guys that. Like, we had a house party at my parents' house. People were so excited about us playing 90 minutes. And I was like, are we a metal jam band? No. Okay.
Ghetto.
Kind of, kind of.
We played ghetto.
No.
Wow, that's no joke. I've those long sets like that. I've seen a few people play 3 hour sets.
Yeah. We
Um,
are the heavy metal jam band. Just
the
Oh
heavy metal jam
yeah.
band.
The
The
heavy
heavy
metal
metal
jam.
jam band. Okay, I'm glad we're expanding that
The
branding that
one
we
heavy
talked about.
metal.
Yeah, just
That-
we are a heavy metal jam band, not the heavy metal.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can't have
that's-
openers. It would just take too much
there
of
you
your
go.
day.
No, I've talked about that before. The one time I saw a
we
3.5 hour set was Bob Dylan, and there was no opener. He just came out and played for three and a
That's
half hours,
crazy.
and
Is
it's
he on
like
guitar or keyboards or both?
he was on guitar, but he was like he wasn't. I don't think he was playing on all the songs, but like and he had a big band, a bunch of people with him, and but I was like, oh, it's like opening bands coming out. Let's see who the opening is. Oh, there's Bob Dylan. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess there's no opener. This is just him for 3.5 hours, and I was like, it was shocking to see this guy just do that. So it's whenever you see like those long sets, like a 90-minute set is no joke. Like I'm trying to
Yeah.
think the last time I really watched. I think the last 90-minute set I saw was like Blind Guardian.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys because they're professionals. So like that's always kind of been for me is like one of the things that sets apart like really professional bands is can you go out and do the variable set, the 25-minute set? Can you do the big set?
Yeah.
That pacing. You see a lot of I've seen a lot of younger bands go out and try to do that, and they can hit 45, 50 minutes maybe, but then 90 minutes is they just don't have the pacing for it. And so
What
it's
did
always
I
impressive
see?
to see that from people. So, well, yeah, holy shit, that's for a second show. Jesus, that's no joke. But you guys are
Yeah, that's crazy.
First night actually headlining, so we're
Yeah.
like, and so we've been ready for
Oh my
having
gosh.
a bunch to choose from, like what we want to as our headlining set is. We thought about it with a lot of intent, and we're gonna go into the studio, I think in May,
oh
and
wow,
finally be able to record this because there is nothing. We're all underground right now,
yeah,
and
I was gonna
Cool.
say I
and
because
cultivating something crafty for you all. So
well Bailey was asking me like how to research you, and I was like, there's like some Instagram clips. I was like it's kind of piecemeal, but I think that's really interesting, especially with like the kind of thematic you're doing. Of that, like if I want to see you, I have to go see you. If I want to
Yeah.
hear you, I have to go hear you. I have to show up.
We have more stuff out, but it's we're very like we have like a vision of what we're doing, and so
Mhm.
we deviate from it. So it's I mean, like we understand the whole kind of concept that's coming together, and it just requires we needed like X amount of time to really get precise and figure out like what we're doing the story with Judy and her mom, and we're also like kind of exploring this really kind of heavy band that's like I was like, well, because some Liz and I are like, we want to have a thrash band. Wait, we want a psychedelic band. Wait, we want a doom band. So we brought all this together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and our devotion to the art craft is like sincere in that we don't want to work with people like that won't do the justice of what our vision is. So
Mhm.
we very much are like, okay, we want to work with this artist for this thing. We want to work with this recording engineer. We have to wait for that time to happen.
Mhm.
We're not just going to get things out there quickly. We're not that band, and we're not going to
Yeah.
That's
process. The
smart.
process is what we're here for. So we're not going to try to be like, let's just get a recording out. We're just not going to do it. We'd rather have nothing out and keep the mystique rather than do it
Yeah,
wrong.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually, I want to follow up there with you, Shana, because I'm really curious because you do all the sound engineering work and such. What do you get out of that versus what you get out of being in the band? I'm really curious about like
That's
that kind of overlap or dichotomy or difference or however you want to put it. But I'd like to hear kind of a compare and contrast of
Sure.
your experiences therein.
As a musician, it's more of an like internal, like I get to perform in a language that I understand more than I know words. And
Mm,
like I actually speak this with all of you other musicians in a way that makes me feel like we're all together in this planet. It makes me feel whole. I like being able to watch my hands do shit that I can't tell them what to do. They're doing things,
Oh, that's
you
so
know?
cool.
I absolutely love being a musician for that connection to the deeper language that we all knew from babies, you know?
mm,
Yeah.
And as a sound engineer, it's a perfect blend of my like I love math and science, and I love being able to be using music as a conduit for healing for mass audiences, using frequency control ultimately to make people feel things. I like having that ability to help bands hear themselves well so they can perform to create community. So it's more like musically, I'm a little bit more selfish than I am as an engineer. Engineer, I love being creating that vibe and making people leave a show and being like, I feel connected to people. I don't feel so alienated and fucked up. And as a musician, you can always be a solo in a room forever. So it's like not that I want that, but like there is a difference in whether I can't do sound to bring people away from each other. Like I
mm.
always have to have a room of people for it to work, and I love that community in which it binds. Also, I love running sound. I love the machinery behind it. I love the gear. I love speaker systems. I love talking about it like to no end.
Capricorn moon.
Like the history of microphones is fascinating to me. How they use microphones, like how Hitler used Neumann bottlenecks to control mass audiences, like things like that. There's a whole science and like
Oh yeah.
Wow.
relation of sound that I'm fascinated by.
Oh my God, I live with my partner, Brian Hood has his own band. He's an amazing audio. He's an audio like engineering degree, but he's also a contractor. So he builds recording studios. He built like Tiny Telephone, for instance, both SF and Oakland, and Shayna, and then my guitar player Toby and Thea is also. They're all these Capricorn moons, and the moon wants to be like in traditional astrology. The moon wants to be really intuitive, but Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, so it's like this turn.
Mm.
So you'll get them. We're at a show and I'll have Toby and my partner and Shayna, and they're like, well, this condenser mic really restricts the treble. Like
Yeah.
four hertz is really to six, and I'm just like, well, and they're like, they're all like gestating
Numbers
wildly,
and
and like,
letters.
and they're like, did you see how that person wrapped up their speaker cable?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that
Cable
oh, I
maintenance
can't
is
even
huge.
look.
Wow.
No,
So like yeah, like it's two different sides of the brain for sure. My like logistical, like very much regimen, and I'm in a world of like a lot of engineers aren't musicians, and I'm in that world of just gear talk and behind the scenes. Then when the musician talk, it's like they're totally different worlds, you
Mhm.
know. And sometimes you get the crossing of people that do understand sound and music together, and like that's a joy. But a lot of times it's different. It's a different personality that I have both inside of me, so I get to express both arts and I need them equally. Like
It's
I am
it's
not anything without
it's
either.
also rad having someone that does sound in the band, because there's this whole thing with like I just had this really kind of my partner was just totally giving me, crap about it because I was like, wait, so a JCM 800, it's from the 80s,
Oh my
and the
God.
JCM 900 is from the 90s. Like I honestly did not know that, and he just like looked at me and rolled my eyes.
Oh my God.
And he was like teasing me about it. But there's like a lot of these times where like I've been like, hey, like I can't get the sound I want, and why is this EQ not happening? Like I don't. She has that brain, my
Mhm.
partner has that brain, and like it's nice to have people that are like, oh, let me fix that for you, rather than being like, oh man, you dumb woman, like why don't you know this, And I feel like we're all pretty competent in our gear and like what it does, and there's we know what pedals we like and whatever, but sometimes there's the thing when you do ask that question, like the environment has to be also like really supportive of it because
Mhm.
I mean it still happens. I was playing a show last year and I was going on stage waiting for the other band to finish. I could move my head and I was holding a speaker cable and this dude came up to me and he was like, I wouldn't plug my guitar in like that. Like he was thinking it was like an instrument cable. It was like this friggin' long. And I was like, what? And he was like, I'm just saying I wouldn't play guitar. Like that's a speaker cable. I was like, thank you for telling me. I was like,
Oh, that's fucked up.
I just told him I was
God.
like, well, I put one end in my vagina and then the other end in my guitar, and like that's what happens. Like we still get 26, like really, So it's nice having someone that, I think the thing with Soothsayer and with Castle and with Daya and like all the projects is like really kind of fostering this community because, it's powerful when you have everyone together kind of manifesting it. You don't have to be in a band to be part of, a supportive arts community,
No, no.
Exactly. It requires like full community participation. We got to have the listeners,
Yep.
the collectors, the artists, the promoters.
The people who book the shows, the people who
Yep.
come to all the shows and support the scene, people like you, doing
Oh,
the podcast, it's all this thing, and we really need to all manifest it together,
yeah.
especially like in the wake of the pandemic, like I think
You're
it's
so
very
right. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
coming together, you know?
This is very much in line with some of the theses that we've shared on this show. I,
Yeah.
I will always recommend Liz Pelly's book, Mood Machines. It talks about the rise of Spotify and kind of how it
Yes.
works. And it's the part about that book that still blows my mind is her discussing kind of how people's listening habits have gone away from taste and more towards tolerance.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's like really fearful to me is that like it's more about like I put infinite playlist on and the only interaction I have with like the machine, the music is to skip a song, and that's just because I can't tolerate it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not about me seeking out what I enjoy, it's about me. And so that's why I think the manifesting, showing up for the show, rocking out, buying merch, talking about it, criticize what we are doing right now is fundamentally criticizing the music situation. We're dividing apart and showing how it works. That's all love. And that's how you get to be better versus just being like, oh, I can't tolerate this next. And like, it's just not really engagement. It's not community. It's just dismissal.
Yeah. Oh, I think
Yeah.
Oh,
I
please,
think
Matt.
I,
Listen to like mystics from like, hundreds of years ago, kind of predicting this moment of this machine takeover. It's very, very friggin' real. And I think people really relate to it, and it's
yeah.
like, I have a good friend, my friend Mark is an amazing writer, and he has a hat on it, and it just says the logo is stay human,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
yeah, it's really important. And I think people really recognize it deep down that like this is like this trap, you know? Like
Oh,
you
sure.
don't want this to make your music for you. You want people to make music for you.
And on your point of tolerance, I think that's what most people go through life as, just tolerating what is
Yeah.
given to them and what is presented to them. And art and music is nothing different. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
people don't seek out anything. They don't seek out new music. They don't seek out new art. They don't like. They don't. They
Passive.
don't have. They don't have something like pulling them towards or around life and like around the planet to really be influenced or just like they're not attracted to much. That's why you have things like that's why pop music is what it is. That's why so many just the mainstream of anything is what it is. It's most people just go along with it. They don't question it. It's like, oh, this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's people like us that are actually kind of supporting and moved by certain kinds of music and art and things like that. So we don't tolerate it. We seek it. We create more. We're looking for new things and whatever. Being came out last week and new being came out 50, 60 years
Oh,
ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
Searching for something I haven't heard that I know I'll love.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing too, is to delve into it. I do think there's a lot of fetishization of the new by a lot
Yeah.
of people, and that
The
starts to
novel.
show. The novel, yeah, they want the novel, and like even when in fact the novel has been around, like there's novel in the past and stuff that's unique and sounding, and that's been a big kind of thing of my, like I'll get students asking me like, how do you get new music, and I'll like go listen to stuff like that and go read through people's bios and branch out and see what else they're into and all this stuff, and you can like see the networks of bands, and it sounds and so brilliant.
Really quick, I don't want to change the subject. What are your students? What are you teaching?
uh so I work at University of California, Merced, and my title is I teach writing.
Okay.
Mostly like a freshman comp. But for the last 5 years, and I kid you not, and Bailey has seen this.
I have sat in a
You've
class.
sat in my class.
I have been there for an entire period, entire class.
For the last 5 years, 6 years almost. I've been teaching a class on tabletop role playing games, so like Dungeons and Dragons. And I know, and looking at that as a sociological cognitive science kind of like phenomenon, and I know way too much about it for my own good. But
I can attest to this.
Yeah. Bailey's been in my house, but it's all
I've been there. Like I've seen it.
It's a scene. It's a scene.
Yeah.
And I did teach engineering writing for quite a few years. I'm going back to teaching here in the fall. And one of those things I do in that class is actually I use turntables and vinyl record players as kind of a template to teach students how to write about engineering topics.
That's so cool.
And to think about standardization and think about like how does stuff go on, because music doesn't just happen magically like on a recording. Recordings happen for a reason. And so I'm really intrigued. I've always been intrigued, and my background education wise is in library information sciences. And so
vibrational? Did you say vibrational?
No.
What kind of sciences?
Library and information sciences.
Vibrational sciences.
Vibrational sciences. No, I'm not. No, that's for the people that run the OnlyFans.
Oh my
That's
God.
my industry. That's my industry. I bring the rumble.
The rumble. But no, but yeah, looking at kind of
Nice save.
So I use it as a template to kind of show students how I would talk about technology and how to show architecture, and it's kind of fun. Like, and I've had students have no clue how like a record player works. They think it's too abstract, and I'm like, how do you think data comes off a hard drive? Like, that's even more abstract. Like, so it's kind of wild how far removed some people are from ideas.
When you say you're teaching about, because I have a 15-year-old and he's really into Magic the Gathering, and it's the same thing. It's these archetypes that exist in our collective unconscious, and
sure, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. No, that's
absolutely. We were talking about earlier with the band, so it's when you see people expressing these archetypes, people gravitate towards it. We have these images in our, we're all storytellers. Like there's is Joseph Campbell that says humans are more mythological than they are logical, and it's totally true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we actually talked about in my class was the kind of the issue of the collapsing of mythos into logos that occurs particularly in the last like 50, 60 years, especially in the United States, and not understanding mythology as mythology, but trying to like make it literal, and that's and the
I got a
politics.
mythology story here. I got to really insert and tell because it's one of my favorite stories.
Okay,
No,
hey, you're the guest. Do
you
it.
said we're storytellers. Be a
Okay.
storyteller. I want to hear the
Well, I'm a
story.
huge, I'm a, I'm hugely into Jung, Carl Jung, the very,
Mhm.
famous, Swiss, psychiatrist. And,
Yeah.
he had this whole theory that, about archetypes, and he's fascinating. I highly recommend him. But when he was a young, student doing his rounds as a psychiatrist, like in early 1900s, I want to say,
Mhm.
he worked for like 2 years at this insane asylum in Switzerland, and he was following these doctors, and this woman like comes up to him as he's trailing, he's doing his whatever they call it, the shadowing or whatever,
Yeah.
apprenticing. And this woman comes up to him and she's like, "You have to help me, you're new here. I'm being pursued by the sun, and it has a dick for a nose, like a penis for a nose, and it makes the wind." Okay. And he was like
Interesting.
really terrified by this. And the doctor's like, that he was shadowing, was like, "Oh, she's been on this for years," like, psh, right? And so Jung was like, huh. And he starts writing down, he starts noticing that all these patients in the insane asylum have very similar stories. They're
Mhm.
very strange. And of course, he gets, really big and he starts making money and he starts buying obscure books on mythology. And then he finds this Zoroastrian myth of the sun god that basically has a dick for a nose and makes the wind.
Hmm.
And he's like,
Interesting.
there's no way this woman would know this. And he found that all these people that had these stories of being pursued by these, it seems like a crazy story, but they all have the same thing. And he came to conclude that it's either an artifact in the human memory or it's like past lives. He wasn't quite sure, and he
Mhm.
kind of walks through, but it's really interesting that we all kind of have these images, these archetypes
Oh yeah.
imprinted in us,
Yeah.
and
There's
how
certain
That
there's
the past lives seems interesting. That's an interesting theory because that
That's
means
fascinating.
all of them would somehow congregated at this one spot if they all had these past lives. I mean, I'm thinking like at least that's where my mind went. If it was a past
Yeah,
life
yeah.
with
Yeah,
something they
Jung just was like, he's like, it's just really strange that all of these patients, they all have these stories where they're being
Mhm.
pursued by these gods or these creatures. And he's like, and there's no way this woman has heard of the Zoroastrian myth, because he was like, I bought it in a rare book for $1,000, but yet she knows this whole myth, and it's what's driving her crazy. But, everyone else is like, oh, you're just making this up. He's like, but it's backed up by this actual story. Really fascinating.
how and it's Zoroastrianism or what I can't even fucking
Right.
pronounce it right
Yeah.
now. That's like that's like 1800 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's pretty.
even
It's pretty.
older,
Yeah.
I think. And their
Wow.
main god, it's interesting because it's like Ahura Mazda. And like, Jung's whole thing is we respond to Mazda, the car company, too, because it's an archetype and they
Oh yeah.
know that's why they named the car
Like,
Mazda after the sun god.
Mm.
Oh
like the
yeah.
skepticism to
I
anything,
fucking love my Mazda.
you know. So
Zoom
like
zoom.
like that skepticism is what keeps us from being able to live in a world where the magic and like mystic actually is reality, where like there's so much, anytime you see anything bigger than what it is, people are like, oh, that's not real, that couldn't be real, and I've experienced that firsthand with some weird shit. But like when people will take DMT and they see the same kind of figures and
Right.
stuff, but they're
Yeah.
not
Oh
really,
yeah.
Yep.
these
Yep.
are coming from somewhere, but we're not allowed to like, have real conversations. So, oh, you're on a drug and it's completely set down to be like, you're not supposed to have those things because you were crazy. But like, well, the person that's being skeptical is actually the problem. We're not allowed to look
Hmm.
deeper into these things because that skepticism, or like if you look into like the words like a conspiracy theorist, and where that originally stems from was people talking shit on JFK, and they want to like diffuse any kind of like rational thought, even if the rational thought is mystic,
Mhm.
conspiracy, etc. It's to diffuse that so it doesn't seem real and
Oh,
to
100%.
Yeah.
It's mind control.
great.
It
It's mind.
yeah. This is very oh god, what's the name? I'm coming from a tradition because my background my early background's in philosophy and looking at George Bataille and mysticism therein, and like the idea of the accursed share is what you're describing in a lot of
Hmm.
regards. This idea that you have to set evils, these things we have to set aside and set outside of society to then reify this society. And he used the example of shit. We have to push shit out of our society in order to have our society. So we're really constituted by what we exclude. Um,
That too.
but I would also and there's other people, I can't remember the name because I totally forgot the fucking name, but there's other people I'd recommend too that kind of think about this idea of just how like we exclude things to then reify our situation. I'm thinking a lot of Foucault here in regards to that too, and like madness and civilization. Um, and so it is interesting seeing how that kind of plays out, and I think a lot of that is this in my opinion, it would just be kind of this collapsing of logos and mythos. But that's me getting into that's a whole different conversation to have.
That's also,
Getting deep
I
on
could
more
get,
than metal today.
yeah, no.
and
I just
that's a
want to.
very like Jungian concept too that we see kind of expressed now, where he believed that evil is like kind of trans universal. Like yeah, Trump is evil, but when we get rid of Trump, if we don't fix the problems that we're experiencing from big government and everything being so like one person, like one ring rules them all, right? We're gonna keep having the same thing. The
Yeah.
solution is to
Well, I
have
think.
more
E-
community, like more community based things where
yeah.
we take
I
from
totally agree.
the Native American tradition and like, in small groups decide what is best for our tribe rather than let some like one person dictate what we're going to do, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's really interesting because there's a lot in my broad take on good and evil is that, and I think back to this stuff I read from Joan Baudrillard that is not to think of good and evil as opposing terms, but they're competing terms.
Mm.
They're in competition with each other, and there's this kind of counterintelligence between the two of them, trying to undermine each other.
And it's almost the polarity of the two, good and evil, in a way.
Yeah, it's not that they're on a spectrum. It's more that they're independent entities unto each other and trying to outdo each other.
We
And
do
outplay.
need both, we do need the
Oh,
shadow,
sure.
you know? I think
Yeah, without dark, you cannot appreciate the light.
There you
Coming from
go.
a dark,
Yeah.
entity myself.
Yeah.
Mm.
All
Yeah.
sunshine here.
um. So Soothsayer, huh?
So
And music.
Soothsayer.
Huh?
Well, we'll
No,
tell you what,
Now you're getting
dude, take your drugs, listen to our stories, and come party and have a cupcake.
but no, I mean, this all goes back to the mystical experience of music.
Yeah.
I mean, it is fundamentally like communal, communion. People come together, the audience, and they vibe together. I always tell my students, I was like, you ever go see a movie? You ever watch like a comedy by yourself in your room on Netflix? That's a very different experience than sitting there watching it in a theater with a bunch of people, laughing and everyone's coming together and that laughter and stuff. It's a very different experience. Same thing with concerts, same thing with music. Is you can kind of come together, and it's a different experience when I listen to a music by myself versus when I go to a concert. When I think Bailey and we talked about this on the way home from the Savage Master show, but like, seeing Savage Master was very different than listening to Savage Master at home.
Oh yeah.
like,
Oh yeah.
like it's a whole thing. And I think that's kind of what I'm hearing from you guys. And especially Shayna, like you were talking about, like, obviously the very dichotomy of engineering versus playing, the communal versus like this kind of much more logically driven stuff. So I think it's interesting to think about the balance of those two and how, they're not opposing. Once again, they're not opposing things, but they coexist, and they're not. I don't want to say necessarily in competition, but they're they're in dialogue fundamentally.
Yeah.
And I think that's really special and like what more
Yeah.
people need.
You can
Yes.
see the same band in two different venues with two different engineers and have two
Oh
completely
yeah,
It's gonna be a completely different experience.
it's the
Like,
same band playing the same music. That's kind of what I mean. That's where that split is, but
Mhm.
it is they're both dependent on the same community showing up for everything. And I'll like my own personal like I came out of a really dark time during COVID. I went through a lot and I had never
yeah.
spent more time alone at one point. I think I didn't even talk to another person for 3 or 4 months.
Oh
And
Wow.
I got out of that and I finally found that I had this tidbit of an epiphany that I never laugh harder by myself than what I do with other people.
Hmm.
I can't make myself laugh that hard, but other people
Hmm.
can make me laugh off my fucking gourd, And it's just like
yeah.
that's when I feel like I had that upon like I really need other people in my life all the time because you get addicted to being alone too. At some point, you're like, I'm so unsocialized, I can't even go out because like I'm not going to be understood.
It
And
just
then,
becomes a
like
cycle. Yeah.
snake, yeah. And that's the kind of thing that got me out of it was like my band making me laugh harder than I'd ever laughed
Mhm.
in years. And being like, these guys are so funny. I'm having the best fucking time. And I couldn't do that for myself. And I knew that. Like I tried. I tried to be like, okay, life is bright. I know that there's a good thing in all this. But the good thing was the band bringing me out, and making me
Yeah.
that there was more to it. And that's also the power of a band healing each other and like giving you a place and purpose to be every week, you know? And we do that for each other through our bands. Even if you don't play an instrument, like we are incorporating our community, like we have people working to help us, like just to acknowledge the people that all make this happen for everybody. It's not
like,
just music.
and Debbie, right, is
Yep.
is the third, the holy trinity of like these people that have been supporting music for so long.
No, lovers of music. That's what keeps the scene going. And really what initially drew me to heavy metal, just the loyalty and the consistency of the fans and
Yeah.
everyone knowing that that's like you can find a home in the scene and it'll support you and it'll be consistent and everyone buys the merch and goes to the shows and you can go by yourself and you can have community. You don't have to feel like you have to show up for, you don't have to play to anything. You just have to really love music and love that shared experience. And that's what we want to just, we keep cultivating and making magic.
Exactly. I mean, I feel like really just it's so easy to like underestimate the importance of just, like showing up, just show up and don't settle for something that you are just tolerating, right? It's just like if you know what you want, look for what you want and show up to get it, right? It's like it's caring is important.
Yeah. Like like everyone is like, oh God, I worked a full day and now I've got to go to band practice. But you're always stoked when you leave band practice.
Exactly.
It's hard to leave.
If you do it enough times, it becomes this habit and you're like, oh yeah, it's hard to drag myself there. But once I'm there, I'm like revitalized.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just feel so lucky to have something to do, have friends to play with. And then you get together and you're like, we were doing art because I could just go to work and pass out and be like, I'm just working to pay my landlord, or I can be playing music and laughing my ass off, maybe having a beer, maybe torturing Matt. I don't know. One of the two.
Where is Matt? And now we've seen like
he left his dildo on the table.
He did. I see that. Yeah. I was gonna say too.
Would that be this?
That is not a dildo. That is a different type of. That is a different type of
bong.
Double duty.
Classic.
You blow it
Oh
and you can.
I was thinking thinking that's what that was. Like, oh my God.
Has a different perspective because this is being streamed on OnlyFans.
They call him Matt because he's on his back flat all the time.
Oh my God.
Baby, either stand up or lay down.
Hey, you know what, man? You're getting yours. That's what matters.
Exactly.
So
get
good.
that bag, girl.
Hey guys, it's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, look, we gotta wrap it up. Soothsayer, where can we find you online?
We're on the Instagrams.
The Instagram.
Close your eyes. Put your fingers out.
Look up to the night sky.
And summon Soothsayer.
I believe you guys are at Soothsayer Band, one word, on Instagram. And then you guys have some shows coming up too. I know you guys got a show tonight. But this podcast will not be out before then. But you guys are playing. Looks like the Makeout Room here at April 24th.
Yes.
Yep.
That's a very cool
Makeout Room.
Is that Makeout? No, that's not.
Yeah, that's what you have in the schedule
Is
here.
it? Oh, okay. Well,
I'm looking at the
We're
flyer
also
right
playing
now on your
we're
Instagram.
playing at Winters. We're playing at Winters in Pacifica on a day. I'm a bass player. I don't know days of the week.
On April 29th.
We're playing QD.
It's a Wednesday? Is it a Wednesday?
Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah, Cutie Fest in Oakland at the Pussy Palace. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
That sounds like a sick show.
Yeah, it should be great.
May 14th, playing with Bloodhum and right? Is it just Bloodhum so far? And we're playing. There's a great band, Genghis Bong. We're playing their record.
Oh my God.
Party. Is that the best band name ever? When I heard that, I was
That's so
What
fun.
was the name of the band?
Genghis Bong.
That's pretty good.
They're really great. They're really heavy, and we're playing their album release party along with Snake Mother that we're playing with tonight.
Oh, Snake Mother's pretty good.
Did we mention Winters, Phantom Hound, Elk Witch? That's coming up April 29th.
Got a bunch. You guys
Stuff.
got
We
a
not
full
slow
summer.
it down. We are speeding up.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
You got a full summer, and we look forward to seeing hearing some of the releases in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rad.
We're gonna stay tuned for that. That's for sure.
We're gonna definitely stay tuned for that. I got you. I'll follow you guys anywhere, so please. But everyone, go check them out and go check out a live show. Go check out the Instagram, Pay attention
Thank
to them.
you.
And,
Yes.
and
Oh.
everything they're involved with, go check out. I've actually got a whole list now from talking to you guys about stuff I have to go check out.
Yeah, thanks for giving a damn.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's
doing what you do.
It's just showing up.
It's showing up. You got to think.
Anyone would like listening to this podcast, if you want Soothsayer to come to your town, just like hit us up, let us know. We want to start going around and seeing y'all's faces.
You can see
know?
examples of kind of what we do looking at the top of our Instagram stories. You can see our dynamic.
What don't we do?
I don't know what we do.
We don't know what we do.
We tap dance, we
do that.
jazz, modern dance, and ballet.
Exactly.
It's interpretive dance, heavy metal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chairs are involved.
Our chairs, yes, everyone. All right, folks. Well, hey, we're gonna cut out for today. This was a lot of fun. Thank you.
This
everyone here.
was so fun. Oh my gosh.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Bailey.
Of course.
Yeah.
Thank you more than metal.
Matt, Tula, Shayna, and Liz, all of you, absolute inspiration. For those that want to find us online, you can find Bailey. Where are we finding these days, Bailey?
Yeah, you can find me at BCrowVO, so BCrowEVO on Instagram. I don't really post on anything else, so that's where you can find me. What about you, John?
I'm everywhere. Only play wizards, like
It's a
everywhere.
cooler fucking username.
Have I ever told you? I'll tell you the origin story that sometime.
You don't play orcs or anything. You only play wizards.
Well, orcs can be wizards.
Orcs can be wizards.
They're not exclusive.
None of this orc mage erasure. Come on.
No. They're not exclusive.
Rage.
Mage Rage. I've been
Damn
in for a band,
straight.
too. That's my.
Matt, what's your OnlyFans?
Yeah, Matt, what's your OnlyFans? Or is it private? Can we not?
Getting horizontal at onlyfans.com.
Vibrational therapy.
Vibrational
Oh
therapy.
my god.
Oh,
We're gonna get banned on all the platforms. I love it. I'm excited.
Does inhale at onlyfans.com. All right.
This is a
Oh my
university
God.
channel, right?
This is the podcast that I'm part of. My god.
This is
We're
what
going to
we think.
release an album that's just our banter from band practices.
Oh my god.
So
Some
good.
people are into that. It'd be a little ASMR action. All right.
You gotta have a feature, a more than metal feature on it, where it's just the weird shit that we said today.
Can we send you our favorite snippet from our band practice?
Send that to us.
Involves a hungry drummer.
All right. Well,
Yes.
all right.
We
Well,
also,
Yeah.
if you really
She's
want
like, don't do it.
we're really obsessed with the YouTube commercial for the 90s called Puppy Surprise. It was a pregnant dog mom.
Puppy surprise.
Puppy surprise, puppy surprise. How many puppies?
Many puppies are hiding inside.
Oh my god.
Could it be
Look for
three
it on
or
YouTube.
four?
It'll haunt your dreams. You'll be like, oh.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
With that haunting reminder,
yes, we need to.
we got to wrap up here.
We got to wrap it up. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening.
Oh my God.
We'll catch
It's
you
a
on
delight.
Soothsayer. Happy birthday, Tula. You'll have a
Happy
good night.
birthday.
Enjoy your shows.
37,000 and counting years.
Oh
Like I
wow.
said, not a day over 28,000.
That's right.
All right.
Have a
guys.
killer show,
Thank
you guys.
See you out there.
Appreciate it.
See you in
See
see you
soon.
in the pit.
See
We're
you
on
in
the
the
side of the
pit.
pit.
Good
Oh my
night,
God.
everyone.
We're on the edge of the room in the back looking at the pit.